Hi, and welcome back to Alex Talking. I'm on location, but actually from home. I'm visiting my parents in Monaca, Pennsylvania, and I am very excited to do this video because I haven't done rankings that much recently, and it honestly is like my favorite thing to do. So I thought I would sit on this beautiful 50-degree misty morning on the back porch and just chop it up about 48 movies. 48 movies I've seen this summer, and I would not say it's been a very good summer movie season. Out of the 48, I don't know how many I'd say are good. I will let you know whenever we get to the ones that I think are good, but we are going to go through some Drek first. I always like to preface that because I don't like being too negative, but I'm going to have to just tear some shit apart to begin with. So let's get right into it. At number 48, this was a movie that I saw as part of a Mystery Movie Monday in Bluffton, South Carolina, and it was called Sketch. It's an A24. No, I'm just fucking with you. It's an Angel Studios uh, children's horror film where they say things like "beehole" and kids are always on their phones and tripping and on their phones and on their phones again and saying Minecraft. Fuck this movie. If you like it, good for you. But this is the worst movie I've seen probably all year, and I've seen over 500 first watches. I know that sounds insane, but movies kill me. This movie, though, fuck, it uses AI to such an egregious degree. All I need to tell you is that at the end credits, it says, stay 58 more seconds for a sketchy surprise. And then it reveals they have Tony Hell come out and say, hey, get this app and you can scan your kids' drawings into it and we'll make a 3D creation of it by fucking using AI. I'm sorry to swear so much about a children's film, but hey, this is a children's film that wants to have very lame entry level horror elements, even though it doesn't work at all. Cringy, humiliating. None of those kids will ever work again. Coming in at 47, we have Joe Carnahan's newest Shadow Force. That was horrible. That was a bummer, though, because I really like Joe Carnahan. And honestly, Joe Carnahan was batting pretty damn near 1,000 for me, albeit no homers, just a lot of nice singles and doubles. Dude knows how to make a great throwback action here. This wasn't that. This had like weird superhero elements, looked horrible, horrible generic story. Um, yeah, man. I have so many bees flying around me. It's crazy. 3 separate bees. Anyways, yeah, Shadow Force. Nah, unfortunately, another one I have nothing nice to say about other than I like Kerry Washington and I like Mark Strong. They're both completely wasted. Just a waste of time at the picture show. Number 46. Thankfully, I did not go to the picture show to see this, and that's not something I'll say every day, but Guy Ritchie's Fountain of Youth. Oh, talk about a director I love. Guy Ritchie, Gritchy, man, one of my favorites. And he'd been on a heater recently. I didn't really like Operation Fortune, the Jason Statham, Joshy Boy Hartnett, Aubrey Plaza one he did. But outside of that, The Covenant, The Gentleman, Wrath of Man. These are some of my favorite Guy Ritchie movies. He'd really been on a nice little streak there. This feels like a work for hire thing, kind of like when he did Aladdin, because it's horrible. John Krasinski is uh, not an action star at all. Not, I mean, this is like, I guess whenever we get lower on the list, it's always stuff that I find really embarrassing. More than it even is like bad. It's like, oh, I was really secondhand embarrassed watching that. This is one. The next two are huge examples of that. It's just like, oh man, this is like such a fall from grace for the filmmaker involved. This is so, and like, not that I blame Guy Ritchie for this that much, but it's just like that's a real blemish on your filmography if you made an action movie worse and swept away. And we gotta stop trying to make John Krasinski happen because him and Natalie Portman were giving like incestual relationship because he's that uncharismatic as an action star. He's a good director. Keep making Quiet Place pictures, bro. Stop making fucking kid cancer movies like if. But honestly, I don't know. That guy has taken a fall from grace. I wonder if it's because Emily Blunt is with The Rock now, but um, just horrible movie after horrible movie after horrible decision. So yeah, that's too much time on Fountain of Youth. Fountain of Youth, bad. Guy Ritchie, yeah. That's a reference to that movie if you've seen it. Me and my drunk friends really loved it when Natalie Portman said that about free champagne. Coming in at 45, like I said, another one that I think it just hurt so much because of how embarrassing it was to watch. Superman, the new James Gunn movie. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. The first two, especially, are two of my top four favorite MCU movies. So it was really disappointing to see such a cringy, soulless. Shit, man, this movie fucking sucked. And I get why people like it to an extent, but I also don't. I get it in the way that I like Michael Bay Transformers movies. I don't mind a thoughtless action movie that has action that I think is filmed cool. Because I was going to say good action, but I think Superman has very bad action with weird wide-angle lenses, and the way the camera moves constantly makes the CGI worse even. Metropolis is just Cleveland. Like, bad decision after bad decision once again with this one. Random side characters because it's just a filmmaker jerking off in a sandbox is what it feels like to watch, having like a Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl who aren't characters, but they are in it because they need to be. No woman in this movie is a character. Lois Lane just figures out what to do next, but her relationship with Superman is non-existent. It is all, hey, you know who Lois Lane is, you know who Superman is, their boyfriend, girlfriend. That's like literally the logic this is written by. That's why you know Lex Luthor's evil, because he's just a hater, like that sort of thing. There's lines like sexy selfie and harem thrown out 3 times. Complete dumpster fire of a film to me, and offensively bad. I have no idea how this got the reception it did, because like I said, it completely to me compares to the Michael Bay Transformers movies as a complete thoughtless popcorn film that if you like the colors you're seeing on screen, if the colors are good enough for you, if the action's good enough for you, then I completely get liking it, because that's why I like the Transformers movies. But I would never go out on a limb and say it's like a, best movie ever. Oh my gosh, this is saving my life. And there's so many kids that unfortunately my wife goes to film school with have reacted that way to it. And I'm like, wow, y'all are so sad that you go to film school, but shit like Superman and Thunderbolts is what getting your wet. But what are you gonna do? Moving on, number 44. Oh, I got drunk at her 21st birthday party and got in a bunch of discussions with people who kept telling me they liked this movie when I asked them what the best movie they saw recently was. Sorry if that's an overshare, but everyone kept saying Predator, Killer of Killers. And I was like, oh, no, I hated that. I was happy to hear people like it, but I thought this was also very difficult to actually get through on Hulu, because you have to just sit with it at home. I also don't necessarily like anthologies when they're really bad. I would compare this to VHS. When an anthology is really bad, it's like, oh, that started bad. Okay, that never got good. Move on to the next one. Okay, this one's ass too. Even though the second one in this one, the Japanese one's the best one. And it's like, okay, that was fine. And then, oh my gosh, the third one with the fighter pilot. Okay, if I had to choose the most embarrassing movie of the summer, it would be Predator, Killer of Killers. Sketch is humiliating, but Predator, Killer of Killers, the shit that moron wrote for the pilot to say in the third act, like, come on, Dad, now I can do it. It's like, wow. I can't believe they entrusted the Predator franchise to such a cornball. It is such a shame. Prey sucked, this sucked, and boy, howdy does Predator Badlands look fucking terrible. But maybe one day they'll make the second good Predator movie, because that hasn't happened yet. Coming in at number 43, Fear Street Prom Queen. Fear Street was a trilogy. It came out back in like 2020, 2021. They were all completely ass. The best one was the second one, Fear Street 78, and that was a 2 out of 5 movie. Shout out my friend, my old college roommate, and even like through a middle school friend, Eli. He punked me by telling me, dude, you gotta watch Fear Street during the pandemic. And it's the type of thing where like, oh yeah, I'll watch what my friends recommend me. I'll watch what we're watching so we can at least, chat about it online, because we can't talk in person. So I watched Fear Street, and it's horrible. And I'm like, I know I like slashers. I know he knows I like slashers, but he usually doesn't like the slashers I show him. I can't believe he likes this god-awful slasher. And I look on Letterboxd and he gives it a half a star. And I'm like, oh, I got punked. That's okay. I lent him my DVD of Geely, so, and told him it was good. So yeah, I never have liked these movies. This one was probably my second favorite, but still, it's 43 on this list. Show you what I think of it. Katherine Waterston Off a Gummy. Coming in at 42, this premiered at Fantastic Fest last year, and it was the movie that whenever I talked to people in between showings, everybody kept telling me was one of their favorite movies. So I made a point to go see it in its limited release and thought it was so crushingly disappointing because I love mockumentaries, especially horror mockumentaries. And this was Strange Harvest, Occult Murder in the Inland Empire was the title it went under at Fantastic Fest. Now it's just called Strange Harvest. I'm going to be quick with this one because I was pretty well disgusted with it. Don't make a mockumentary look like complete dog shit. If you've seen the Hell House LLC films, you'll know exactly what I mean. It is a fruitless effort to make found footage / mockumentary movies in the modern day by using cheaper technology, but not knowing how to light them or get even mediocre actors. And that's the thing. I understand found footage movies are cheap, but you have to find people who at least try to act. And this one, as well as like Hell House LLC, like notoriously in my opinion, they're like, no, we'll get people off the street. We won't even audition people. And it's lit like complete dog shit. And if you don't make a horror found footage or mockumentary feel real, that's one of the easiest ways to just shoot yourselves in the foot, in my opinion, by choosing to go out and make that movie. Because this could have just been a regular serial killer movie. And that maybe would have been more interesting. But by choosing to make it a mockumentary, it's like, oh, it's horribly acted. It's horribly lit. The overhead shots of freeways look like dog shit. They're real. They're on drones, but I don't know what kind of quality or what kind of frame rate or anything like that. But watching it on a big screen was a huge disservice. I think this would play better at home because watching it on a big screen, it was hideous and horribly made. Coming in at 41, we have Smurfs. I cannot believe that the Rihanna Smurfs movie made it above all those other movies below it, but those are truly 7 of the worst movies I've seen in a while. Smurfs is just bad. It's like a 1.9 out of 5. And hey man, at least there's a turtle in it. Coming in at 40, we have Americana. Wow, that is disappointing. I cannot believe it's this low, but it's the type of thing where when you make a list like this, you can't really lie. You know, I rank it based on what I would like to rewatch more and how much I enjoyed it and how much I actually thought it was quality. Those 3 things all go together to make this list, and unfortunately, this movie did not look very good, was not well acted, and had a very, very thin story. I walked out of the trailers for this one because I've been sold based on the photo of Paul Walter Hauser and Sydney Sweeney throwing darts ever since this premiered in Texas a few years ago, back in 2023. I like Sydney Sweeney. I love Simon Rex. I thought, yeah, I'll walk out of the trailer anytime that comes on. I'm very excited for it. Sometimes that's a great thing, like with the number 1 movie on this list, that really paid off. But sometimes it can really bite you in the ass, and it would just be better to know a movie's going to look like shit going into it. I hate to say that to be mean. There's just a certain thing about poorly lit digital filmmaking that makes me go, oh, I would have really loved to have managed my expectations from thinking this could be a great indie movie to thinking, oh, this is just going to be maybe an okay indie movie. Not to be mean like that, but Sydney Sweeney's giving a horrible performance. Once again, I like Sydney Sweeney, so like I'm just going to preface that. I do think she's a good actress. If you don't think so, watch Immaculate. Giving a horrible performance in this, though, which she comes close to usurping in Eden. Just rough run of accents and playing this like mentally challenged, which was a decision I did not know going into it, and my buddy said they hid that in the marketing, and it was just weird. And stupid, boring story, and Halsey is crazy in it. Yeah, not a good movie. Coming at 39, talk about not a good movie, The Thunderbolts. I don't really have shit to say about this. This is close to Marvel at its worst. I don't get what people saw in it at all. To be 100% honest, this is like bottom of the barrel slop. I have no idea what appeals about this to people. Honestly, less than Superman, because I could not imagine willfully rewatching this movie. Because it's just boring as shit with uninteresting action and very uninteresting characters. I have no idea how your franchise can be on such fumes that you would have the audacity to try to set up a new Avengers movie and be like, you know who the leader of them is? Black Widow's little sister. Yes, everybody's fifth favorite Avengers, little sister, is the lead of your new Avengers. And her dad, who's a good actor with a really stupid accent, and the fucking lame villain from Iron Man Armored Adventures and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ghost, and the, conservative Captain America and Bucky are your new Avengers. That fucking sucks. It's literally insulting to me. Black Widow, everyone's fifth favorite Avengers, and Bucky, everyone's least favorite Avenger, are now two of your six new Avengers. Pathetic. Coming in at 20 or 38, Megan 2.0. This movie is horrendous, unabashed dog shit, and it's not embarrassed about it. And that's something that you can't say about some of the movies below it on this list. So I give Megan the bump because at least it had the audacity to be what it was. And what it was fucking terrible. Coming in at 37, just inching Megan 2 out by once again having a certain level of impressive audacity, is Pete Davidson's The Home, from the filmmaker that brought you most of the shittiest Purge movies. Is a movie about how old people need to keep themselves entertained, so they bring young people in to be their custodian, and then just fuck with them overnight, and then take needles to their eyes and suck the youth out of them. It ends with one of the best 10-minute movie just jumping the shark endings I've seen in a while. And Pete Davidson is like, if you've seen the SNL bit where it's like Pete Davidson in a horror movie or whatever, and he's just like, okay, okay, cool. It's like they got him to play that role for an entire movie. I can't even tell if he's ever actually supposed to be pretending to be scared or it's just like supposed to be funny. Very, 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 very bad movie. Either way. 36, we have Heads of State. Idris Elba and John Cena as two different heads of states. Idris Elba is the Prime Minister of the UK and Cena's a former actor that's the president in America. Very mediocre action movie from Ilya Nassar, the guy that made the original Nobody. And it's a shame he didn't come back for Nobody too, because we will be getting to that momentarily. Coming in at 35, we have Lilo and Stitch. It's fine, other than the fact whenever it's really fucking bad, like Zach Galifianakis as Jumba and the entire thing with her sister, and choosing to add another child service agent as the villain, even though it's nice to see Tia Carrere. That was really bizarre and out of place. And Agent Cobra Bubbles should just be cut from the movie if you're not going to get Ving Rhames to do it. Actually, this was horrible. Coming in at 34, we have Cleaner. Daisy Ridley and I think, is his name Mark Forster? The guy that made Casino Royale. Martin Campbell, I think is his name actually. Martin Campbell, guy that made Casino Royale, GoldenEye, made this Daisy Ridley, Clive Owen action movie. Complete streaming slop, but I enjoy those type of action movies. And it was better than Heads of State, which is like the exact same thing, so it's higher than it. Coming in at 33, we have How to Train Your Dragon remake. This was much better than Lilo and Stitch. I just could not give less of a shit about live-action children movie remakes, so it's not any higher, but it is much, much better. Coming in at 32, Julianne Moore and Sydney Sweeney's Echo Valley. This is one of those twist thrillers where it's just like twist on a twist on a twist. It's not an actual good movie. Sydney Sweeney has got to learn some self-respect when it comes to the roles and ad placements, that she takes. Um, she just has none. At least that's what it seems right now. She'll say yes to everything, and it's almost always as an abused wife or girlfriend. I understand sometimes that's the roles you're offered, but it kind of really sucks that, you know, that's all she's really up to. Coming in at 31, Nobody 2. I can't believe this is this high because I'll be honest, if you've seen my review, you know that I despised this. Um, just puts into perspective, I would never watch a single movie below this again, and I thought they were all very bad too. Nobody 2. What else is there to say other than the fact that it's a complete regression in every way? CGI action, pointless rehashing of the first film, takes away any sort of satisfaction from the ending of it, the way this begins. Everyone's sleepwalking through it. Yeah, if you want to watch my review, I really tear into this because it fucking sucked. Coming in at 30, we have Life of Chuck. This is Mike Flanagan's newest film, and I was super excited to see it. We even went on a beach date to Hilton Head Island, and me and Mary Caroline did not like this at all. This was white boy cringe. I like the message, but just the packaging it is in did not resonate with me at all. Matthew Lillard gives a great performance in his scene, but another one that I walked out of the trailer for, and even then, I don't know if it would have prepared me for how strange this was, and strange isn't ever bad to me. That's honestly why it's higher than the rest of the stuff on this list, because as much as this ended up not resonating with me at all, or landing with me, it was at least a lot more interesting to watch than everything else below it. Coming in at 29, a much worse movie than the one that came before it, but once again, a movie that I would rewatch before the other one, a movie that I found more enjoyable to watch, which is how I rank this. Another Simple Favor. This was bad, and once again, another sequel to a movie that is good, and this is a bad sequel to it. So that's a shame, but it was fun because it's like white woman pig slop is what my buddy called it, and it's like, it completely is. It's like mommy core, silly, like Anna Kendrick loves making these sequels, if you think about it, because this is the exact thing Pitch Perfect 3 did. Completely jumps to shark, makes them like super powered, like detective spies, and then has secret reveal twin with Blake Lively, who's playing it insane. Boy, starting to realize why she doesn't get roles in real movies. But yeah, no, this was bad, but in a really fun way. But also in the same way that Nobody 2 was like a wow, can't believe we just pissed all over an original film like that by just making an awful sequel. Coming at 28, talk about fucking like in Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance when he pisses fire, pissing all over a grave. Jurassic World Rebirth. These movies don't offend me because dinosaurs are in them. So that's why, like, this is on very, very, very similar playing field to Superman. You know, just a very bad blockbuster. But I would much rather rewatch this because it has ScarJo, Mahershala Ali, and dinosaurs. But I wouldn't say anything nice about this other than the boat chase action sequence is good. That was really good action, actually. But this is just written to be an arcade shooter. They have Jonathan Bailey say, this dinosaur, this dinosaur, this dinosaur, whenever they're in the museum. He even goes like, this is the flying one, this is the water one, this is the land one. And then they go and they're like, we're going to go get the water one, we're going to go get the flying one, and then we'll get the land one. It's like, it's pathetic how poorly written this is, but dinosaurs are in it. Coming at 27, Summer of 69. This is the Hulu original movie from Jillian Bell, which is honestly what made me pull the trigger because I think Jillian Bell's really funny. She's the villain in 22 Jump Street, was what my favorite thing she ever did was, but she's funny in a lot of stuff. And Chloe Fineman is really weird. She's got such a weird persona to me that I am very, like, drawn to. I really enjoy watching her, so I was like, oh, she's playing a stripper in this? Okay, I'll check that out. And I enjoyed it enough. It's a funny, silly enough, solid little, like, R-rated Disney film. Disney Channel movie, I mean. Coming in 26, talk about a Disney Channel movie. Maybe that's why I thought that. And because they have the exact same poster and they're right next to each other, is Freakier Friday. And this was much better than I expected, to be honest. I had a great time. Saw it at like 11 in the morning with my fiance on a date, and we had so much fun. She was laughing her tail off, and it was nice to see Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis and Julia Butters, honestly, from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as Lindsay Lohan's daughter was a lot of fun. Coming in at 25, the exact same level as Freakier Friday, but just for me. Whereas Freakier Friday was for my fiance, this one's for me. Karate Kid Legends. Um, it is better than you'd expect, still very bad, but I was not as annoyed by, oh my gosh, they made the Karate Kid movie about a boxer that owns a pizza joint. I was stoned and thought that was hilarious, so maybe that's why it didn't bother me as much, but it's like a brain dead 80-minute TikTok movie for children, and I thought it was silly as fuck. 24, Fight or Flight, the new Josh Hartnett action movie. Bullet plane, it's Bullet Train on a plane. Um, Takes a bit to get going, has an awful beginning. They swear like 500 times just for no reason, just over and over and over again. And I apologize. I know I have been in this video too. But I'm going to stop because I'm going to be getting to movies I like. But no, this is like completely fine R-rated action movie. Very low budget, but with actors like Josh Hartnett, I have a good time. 23, Elio. Elio bombed horribly. Poor Elio. But me and, once again, my fiance, sometimes movies that make a very small impression on me, I enjoy more because of how much she enjoyed them. And she thought this was really cute. And we had a very good time with it. We saw the poster for it whenever we went and saw My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 back in September of 2023. And this thing just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. But they had the poster up in the AMC Savannah 11 all the way back then, and it was fun to finally see it, and it was mid as hell. Coming in 22, talking about mid as hell. Ron Howard's newest movie, Eden. This is the one where Sydney Sweeney gives herself a run for the money for giving probably the worst performance of her career. And hilariously finding a way to still show her boobs when you least expect it. She is a oppressed brunette German housewife who is having to move to the Galapagos Islands for, hope, I guess. You don't think that she'll hang titty in a movie like that, but sure enough, there's a scene where she just out of nowhere spontaneously breastfeeds in front of police officers to big dog them, essentially, and make them like get off her trail because they're like, oh, we can't look at her while she's breastfeeding. But in the most Sydney Sweeney way possible, they have her just pull her entire shirt down and expose her breast for a solid 2 seconds and then put the baby on it. It was like hilarious. We saw this, me, my sister, and her girlfriend at a Mystery Movie Monday, and we just erupted in laughter because it's just like, wow. When you least expect it, there's no way she'll pull it off in this movie. Wow, she still does. She still shows titty in a movie where you least expect it. It was like when she did it in Immaculate, too. It's like, it'll always happen, even when it has no reason to. Life will find a way. Coming in at 21, Fantastic Four First Steps. This is like the definition of exactly middle of the road. I'd say from here on up, I would give these a solid thumbs up. And even like the last three, Eden and Elio, and maybe Fight or Flight, are all movies I'd give 3 stars. And this one is as well, but it's a much more certain 3 stars. It's a much more assured 3 stars. It's just kind of forgettable, unfortunately. The Fantastic Four are my favorite comic book characters, and I have been looking forward to them to get in the MCU for so long. And I saw the movie twice, and I enjoyed it both times, but it just doesn't make as big of an impression as you would hope, if that makes sense. I don't really think about it whenever I leave, which I do for most movies. It's just like, oh, that was a solid time. Um, Cousin as the Thing was my favorite. Nothing more, nothing less. But honestly, the best movie they've made since Endgame. So I have to give them props for that, and that makes me happy. It makes me happy they didn't embarrass the Fantastic Four. So, yeah, honestly, big ups to them. I thought that that was very, very, very solid. The Mario Ball, isn't it brilliant? I saw this next movie with my buddy Hayden, my buddy Jack, and it rewired my buddy Hayden's brain. He's going to be really disappointed to see this at 20. I feel bad for him. It's just not necessarily my bag, um, but it's not something I thought was bad at all. It's just another one that these are very solid 3-star movies. This is Oh Hi with Molly Gordon. He really fell head over heels for Claire Bear, Molly Gordon, when we saw this. And I love it. I ended up saying to him on the way to the airport when I was dropping him off after he came to visit, what are you going to leave this trip from Savannah with? What was your favorite thing? He said Molly Gordon. I love it. Oh, I love it. Good for him, man. Good for the brother. Good for the brother. Overall, this was just like a solid little indie relationship movie, which there's been a good couple of those this year with like Companion, Together, Clown in a Cornfield. That's what 19 is. 19, Clown in a Cornfield. This was fun. I ended up getting a platoon of like 9 people to go see it, which is what made it way more memorable. I don't know if I'd really care about it if I didn't, but it was funny. I just kept inviting people, and somehow this was the movie everyone just kept saying yes to. And then some people loved it, some people hated it. It was all over the spectrum, but overall, this was solid. Talk about having a slow first act, but then turning itself on its head and really becoming worth watching. That's how I felt about this movie. Um, Very fun third act, and the twist when you know you'll see it is fun. Coming in at 18, Happy Gilmore 2. This movie, I never want to watch again, but I was in the perfect head state. I was just like Happy Gilmore is in this movie with all my friends, and we were laughing our asses off, taking shots of rum, and thought it was hilarious. I could not imagine trying to watch it again. I'd imagine I would probably not like it because I've only heard bad things, but I had a great time when I watched it, and it's a beautiful experience in my mind because of that. Coming in at 17, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Honestly, no. That's a lie. This should be higher. Coming in at 17, Bring Her Back. This was good. This was better than Talk to Me. I was going to say, what was the other movie those dudes made? Talk to Me. I like this way more than that. I loved when the kid was eating knives and shit. That was hilarious. Sally Hawkins is great. The blind girl was great. The ending is just a little weird. I would have preferred it if she put the kid and the boy, and then the little blind girl just had to live with that. That would have been my choice ending, but if you know, you know. Coming in at number 16, we have The Surfer, starring Nicolas Cage. This is about him going to the Australian beach and trying to swim with his son, and the locals won't let him. And it was pretty funny, man. I had a good time with this. It's like a psychological, trippy thriller. Nicolas Cage is great in it. I love the beach. I love Ozploitation horror movies. Everything about this rang true for me, and I liked it. Coming in at 15, Ick. This is Brandon Routh, Mina Suvari movie that they showed at Fantastic Fest last year, and I was able to enjoy. And it got a limited release this summer. And I hope you went out and saw it because I thought this was really funny. Had a great soundtrack. Very fun cast. It was nice to see everyone from that cast in this. And I really enjoyed this, and so did my uncle. Coming in at 14 now, we do have I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Know What You Did Last Summer was a wild ride and the definition of a 3-star movie that I love, if that makes any sense. Because there's parts of it that I hate. There's horrible lines, super cringy lines. the third act twist is bad and then gets better and then is bad again. And Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr., God bless them, are having a who sleepier off, just giving it bare minimum effort because, let's face it, Jennifer Love got nothing to do. She should have gotten way more to do. This is a movie with great moments and awful moments. I thought for sure when I saw it for a second time, I was like, it will not be a 3-star. It'll either bump to 3.5 or 2.5 or 4 or 2, but it just won't be 3 again. Because the first time I saw it, I gave it 3 because I was just like, I have no idea how to reckon with all the feelings that made me feel. And at the end of the day, it was a 3-star again because I'm like, no, it's completely a 3-star because it has so much good and so much bad. And I appreciate that in a movie. Coming in at 13, another movie that on a rewatch I bumped from a 3.5 to a 3 because it has so much good and so much bad. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. This is higher than most stuff on this list, but maybe the most disappointing movie of the year just because these are my favorite movies. This is my favorite movie franchise, and this might be my least favorite one, to be 100% honest. Um, I'd probably put Mission Impossible 3 below it, but nothing else because this is as great as the submarine sequences and as great as the plane sequences. It's just the worst story they've told in the Mission Impossible movie, and that's okay. But it's clunky, it's messy in the first hour. It's just too long because the first hour's not good. And like if it was mediocre, that'd be okay, but it's just not good. And I don't like watching it at all the first hour, so that's a shame. And that's okay though, because yeah, that submarine sequence and the plane sequence is amazing. Coming in at 12, Dangerous Animals. I never would have thought an Ozploitation shark movie with Jai Courtney would make it above Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, but here we are. I thought this was a lot of fun. Jai Courtney is given the best performance of his career as a serial killer that uses sharks. That is awesome. Great idea. The main girl that looks like Jennifer Lawrence was great in this too. I really enjoyed this. Yeah, I would highly recommend checking this out on Shudder. I love shark movies, and even then, this is a very untraditional type of shark movie. This is a lot of fun. Truly worth watching. Coming in at 11, Ballerina from the world of John Wick. Much better than I expected. I thought that this was essentially just John Wick 3.5 rather than being a true like spin-off or a downgrade. Like Hobbs and Shaw is just not as good as the mainline Fast and Furious movies. Better than some of them, but not better than most of them. This is like not as good as any of the mainline John Wicks, but a lot damn closer than Hobbs and Shaw is. I really enjoyed this one. Coming in at 10, Together. I really have to say, I thought this was super interesting, super cool. Dave Franco and Alison Brie were great. The body horror was awesome. The sex scene is probably my favorite of the year. Yeah, nothing bad to say about this. I would say that these top 10 are definitively great movies on this list. This top 10 is very, very strong, and Together is a great one to kick it off with because I'd recommend this to pretty much anyone. It wears its message on its sleeve. It obviously is trying to say something, but not in a way that I found annoying and found actually quite poignant. Coming in at 9, highest to lowest, Spike Lee's newest joint with Denzel. And boy, if this is playing in a theater near you, do yourself a favor and go see it. It was so funny. We were all laughing our asses off in the local Pittsburgh Art Theater, and I was a little bit like, wow, Spike, what are you doing? In the first, like, half hour of it. Looks a little too digital. I know I say that a lot. Looks a little too digital and had some insane lines. But I really settled in when I realized it was like a mix of Inside Man and Bamboozled rather than anything close to Black Klansman. And it was a really cool reinvention of high and low. So I'd give this a huge thumbs up. And Denzel and A$AP Rocky were fantastic in this. Coming in at 8, F1. Brad Pitt's new Formula One racing movie from the director of Top Gun Maverick. Of course I was going to really enjoy it. And I actually only enjoyed it more on a rewatch. I thought I had some issues with it the first time. Of course, it's very tried and true, very by a formula. But that formula honestly did not grate on my gears that much. I thought this was really well done. Great action. Some of the coolest action I've seen in years. Um, One of the best movie theater movies of the year. And yeah, those shots from the car, amazing. Number 7, Materialists. This is one of me and my fiance's favorite movies of the year. We reference it a lot. Um, I would highly recommend it. I think it was better than Past Lives. Dakota Johnson is great in it. Chris Evans needed this so bad. It's his best movie since Knives Out and Gifted. Um, Needed that bad. Pedro's great in it. Super brave. Yeah, great movie, The Materialists. Number 6, The Naked Gun. I've seen this 3 times, and every time I laugh out loud so hard the entire time. I'm able to start quoting different lines before they happen, and I know I'll just remember them for the rest of the time because this is so funny. This last time I went, I took my dad, and he was laughing so hard, which was so nice. One of the best theater experiences I've had in a while. Number 5, 28 Years Later. Wow. Talk about a movie I saw 3 times. Let's see. Everything from here on out I saw at least 3 times. 28 Years Later. Yeah, I thought this was super awesome. I thought the ending was great. Everything in between. Beautiful cinematography. An amazing use of sound design. Zombies looked great. The story was just so interesting. I cannot wait to see where this goes with the Bone Temple in January. Ray Fiennes, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer, all fantastic in their respective roles. I thought that this was a beautiful continuation of this franchise, and honestly, my favorite of the entire series. But like, very safely so. I thought this was terrific. Coming in at 4, this only gets better in every rewatch. I'm glad I saw it a 3rd time before they took it out of theaters. Eddington. Yeah, this was a movie I expected to hate. I love Ari Aster. I adore every one of his movies. They all get better on every rewatch to the point that I almost think Hereditary is my 3rd favorite of his at this point because of how much I love Beau is Afraid, and Midsommar is just always going to be my favorite probably. But this, as easily his worst movie, is like a 4.5 to me still. And Joaquin Phoenix is definitely my favorite performance of the year. He is generational in this, hangs dong like no other. Pedro was really good. He wasn't overpowering, didn't take over the movie. He was not even the second bill. He was just there to do his role and be a player in this Ari Aster movie, and I thought that was great. Shocking moments. Had my heart pounding the hardest it's been since, like, I saw... What was that movie called? Oh, Bad Times at the El Royale and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is right there with the most stressed I've ever been in a theater watching a movie, and it's so funny because it's not the traditional horror movies. It's the true thrillers that I'm like, oh, this is going to end horribly. I know it's going to be horror, and then wow, this movie has such a horrible ending, the bleakest ending ever. Boy, does Ari know how to do an ending. I'm almost thinking this should be 3 just talking about it. But now, saying number 3, The Phoenician Scheme. Wes Anderson, I'll never get tired of your movies. This was super fun. Benicio del Toro is a beast. I love that dude. He owns this movie. I'm so glad Wes gave him a leading role. Michael Cera was hilarious. About time he's in a Wes. Yeah, man. I thought this was really funny. Cranston, Tom Hanks, Cumberbatch, everybody brought their comedy chops to this in a really fun way and had a great time with it. Number 2, Final Destination Bloodlines. So much fun at the movies. I am so thankful to live in a world where I was finally able to see one of these in a theater, and it delivered. It lived up to the hype. Got to see it with so many friends. Different friends were coming over and watching different movies in the Final Destination franchise throughout. The one girl we took was screaming her head off and covering her eyes, just like she did every time we watched them at home. I love that she did that in the theater. Made it such a fun experience. I'll never forget the first night in that packed theater watching this. We all just loved it, and I've seen it 5 times now, and it only gets better every time as well. It is so much fun. Such a unique original take on this franchise, and Eric is like right there with Wendy from Final Destination 3 as my favorite character in the franchise. But coming in at number 1, just edging out Final Destination a week and a half ago, Weapons. And I've seen Weapons 3 times, and I'll take whoever wants to see it for a 4th because everyone needs to see this. It is so cool, so unique, so original, so scary. My fiance was screaming out loud through it. I wasn't scared at all, but that's just because most movies don't scare me. Like I said, Eddington did much more than this, but I thought it was just so badass and wicked cool. And I really, really enjoyed Barbarian, so I made a distinct point not to see any trailers for this. And that was the best thing I could have done. Like, seeing the trailer for Eddington made me think I was going to not like it because it was scrolling on a phone and I just can't stand shots of iPhones in movies. But then I ended up really enjoying that. Not seeing a trailer for this paid off in spades because I had no idea what was going on, and I was like, wow, this is freak shit, just like Barbarian was. But this dude really knows how to make good freak shit. And those kids got up, they left their house at 2:17, and shit, man, they never came back. Yeah, great movie. Julia Garner is proven to be one of my favorite actresses. I used to be unfamiliar with her game, but she just gets better in everything I see her in, and she was a tour de force in this. Brolin's awesome. He gets laughs with the what the fuck every single time. All 3 times I've seen it, the car door opening also gets gasps. Like, as they say in Always Sunny, I'm going for gasps. They nailed it with that. People scream out loud whenever that car door opens. All 3 times I've seen it. So satisfying. Such a fun theater experience. And such a fun, original, unique horror movie. Easily, honestly, my favorite movie of the summer. Number 1, Weapons. Let me know what you saw down in the comments. Look at that, 46 minutes. Not every movie got a minute, but we're pretty damn close. Yeah, let me know everything you saw, or just what are your favorites? What are your least favorites? What do you think? What are you looking forward to in the fall? Begonia? Yeah, Begonia. Black Phone 2. I get to go see the premiere of that at Fantastic Fest. Boy, am I hyped. Anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll be going to see Honey Don't tonight, which means I'll probably do a review of it, and regret it not being on this list. But I had a really good time making this video now, so I'm glad I did it when I did. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.